Meditation, the simple science of how it works. My name is Patrick Rooney with oldschoolus.com. Been thinking a lot over the last few days about the process, the exercise of meditation. A lot of people think of meditation as being silence. It's a silence. Some people practice it that way and think of it as silence. But I've come to realize it's about a lot more than just silence. There is actually an active force at work there. It is simply much more than silence itself. If you look at the old pictures, the ancient photos, you will see the saint. You'll see Jesus perhaps praying, or some of the ancient saints. What will you see? You will see a halo. We kind of make fun of the halo around the head of the angel, but you will actually see like a halo, a light around the head, and there's a reason for that. You'll also see typically the hands folded, fingers touching together in prayer, sometimes over like so, but often you'll see them like this with fingers touching. There's a reason for that as well, and I want to talk about that because I don't think it's talked about too much. And it's really, really important because what I've also come to realize, especially the last few days, watching the last few weeks, even the last few months, we are so conditioned from the outside that we are actually in, I've heard people explain this, but I come to understand this myself now. We are in a hypnotic position. We're in a hypnotic state. And we're actually being hypnotized by the world. The powers that be in this world, whatever they may be, are filtering their message through what we call the media. And in the media, most people will say, oh, I'm not affected by the media. The vast majority of people are affected by the media quite strongly and aren't realizing that. The media comes to us in various ways. It might be the news that we see on the TV. It might be on the internet. It might be music. It might be movies. It's commercials hitting us over and over and over. We're being bombarded. Our senses are being bombarded. There's a reason for that. We must have a counterbalance to everything that's pulling into us. We have to have a counterbalance to that in order to stay sane or to get sanity back. And I believe that balance comes to us through the process of meditation. If you don't have that, you will see what we're seeing now, which is people just bowing to all of the mask mandates, bowing to the people who are ripping our country apart. Remember, we used to have people, we had Colin Kaepernick, who was kneeling for the national anthem, one man. Now I saw an article a couple of days ago where you saw a whole group of baseball players kneeling. The whole group was kneeling. Now I saw another story after that where there was one man who actually didn't kneel. He said, I'm a Christian, I won't kneel. Good for him. But for the most part, people are bowing down in one form or another to the mass that's coming into us, and we are turning into drones. We have to break free of being drones. So that's when meditation comes in. So I'm talking about the ancient pictures. I talked about the halo effect. Well, let's talk about the science of that. And there's a science of that, and it's funny because there are people that talk about God, and there's people that talk about science, and usually they're on two different sides. But if you understand the fullness of science, you can, God or some, if you don't want to call him God, I guess it's up to you, but there is some force out there. And, think about the movie, for instance, the movies, the Star Wars series, right? We've heard about the force. The force, may the force be with you. What is the force? You see Luke Skywalker using the force. You see them using that in their battles. There's a certain force. We've heard of martial artists through the years who have used a force inside them. They call it chi or ki in China or in Japan. There are forces that are used that are kind of metaphysical, and they are used on the highest levels. I've experienced that myself in martial arts at flashes at times in combat, where all of a sudden you're kind of like in a state where you're not thinking. You're in a kind of a no mind, as they say. I think they call that mushin or something, a no mind state where you're outside of your mind. So there is a spiritual element to everything that permeates. And if we don't capture that, as I say, we are gone. We are just mindless drones, and that's what's happening today. So that's why I want to get into a little bit of the science. So let's start with the light coming into the mind. When you close your eyes in meditation, you may notice, especially if you're in a dark room, that there is some kind of a light inside you. Even when there's no exterior light, there's an internal light. And if you've been meditating for any length of time, you probably have noticed an interior light. That's not your imagination. That's real. There is real light that's coming in. We've heard people talk about the pineal gland, right, which is supposed to be, they call it the third eye. You've heard it called about the third eye. This has been known about for centuries. The third eye has been talked about for a long, long time. It's called the pineal gland. What is that for? I don't know if anyone's ever discovered what it's actually for, but I believe it appears to be for. It's for the light that's coming from somewhere. There's an energy in this world, in this universe. There's an energy that comes through that portal. It's kind of like a portal where the light goes through, and you see the light inside you. And you will notice that if you pay attention, you will notice lights. And maybe if you're in a meditative state, you'll notice maybe some moving lights, pixels or something like that. Or maybe just, I've noticed at I've been practicing meditation for many years. I've noticed sometimes a light just kind of coming like a ball of energy. This light, it's there. It is not a figment of my imagination. It is real. And I know that other people have experienced this as well. There's something inside you that is lighting your way, but we need to pay attention to it. That's the difference between being asleep and being awake. When you're awake, you're subject to being awakened further through some type of force that is acting on you. When that force goes away, by the way, and I've noticed that, I've had it at times where it just kind of goes away, I'm subject to certain things, anger or whatever it is. When I go to sleep in some kind of way, fall asleep, I become subject to those things. When I'm awake, I'm not subject to those things. The light comes through your body and it goes into, again, think of the pictures of our ancients. The light is coming through here. And you'll notice prayer, don't worry, that's just my dog running through. Frisco. You'll notice that the light and the energy comes through here, and then it comes out, you'll see the prayer. Now, why are they praying with the fingers together? What's that all about? That has a reason too. The energy comes down through the arms, and it goes out into fingers. And you may notice that if you're in prayer at times, you may notice a energy that's between the fingertips. It's kind of like a little energy there. Now, there are certain type of meditation I've been doing for a long, long time. I mean, really, really decades. And I've been coming back to it more and more lately. I kind of strayed a little bit. But in that meditation, you will also notice energy in individual fingers. And when you notice the individual fingers, it's almost like a energy gets put from here into like one little thing. It's kind of like having a magnifying glass. If you ever try to like start a fire on the ground or something, or kids will play with stuff and try to burn bugs or something. But what's happening is that the light is coming through the magnifying glass, and then it is put into a little, what's the word here? It just kind of converges into one beam. The same thing is true in lasers when people are doing laser surgery. A laser is a very small beam of light. It's very concentrated light. That's what happens when the energy comes into your arm, down your arms, and into your hands. And then if you notice, you'll notice individual fingers. And in the individual finger, that concentration, you'll feel kind of a pulsation. Anyway, I'll put a link in the description to practice that can show you how to do that kind of thing. And I really recommend that you find, if you try that, if you're serious about wanting to see what's wrong with you. Why am I so subject to the world? Why am I acting like a drone? Why don't I have the strength to fight when the world comes and pushes on me? Why do I kneel, so to speak, in many different ways? Why am I doing that? I believe this is essential. We need to know what this is. And this is science here. There are reasons why this. Now, how, I mean, I'm telling you how it works. Now, why, the why and all that is beyond my pay grade, as you may say. But I can see how it works. And when I notice these things and pay attention to them, and really pay attention in meditation, you can sleep in meditation too. You can be in meditation and be in a sleeping type of state. But when you awaken and notice with your eyes closed, but you still notice kind of your mind's eye, and you watch for the light that's out there, and you see what's actually there, and you feel the energy coming in. And when you notice in your hands, we notice the little pulsation in your fingers. That is energy that you are getting from another source. And I'm telling you, that energy is the difference that gives you the energy that you need. It's the difference that keeps you, as they say, some religious people might say, in the world but not of the world. You're not looking, if it takes you into an out of this world type of energy. Therefore, you don't have to suck on the energy that's all around you. The energy that you find maybe in drugs, in food, in having people say you're a wonderful person so you feel good in a certain artificial way. All these things are fake. Information that goes into your head, as I said, through the media, that's not even your own thoughts, but it becomes you. The thoughts in your head that aren't you, that are something else. All of this stuff is a form of the world, and it can be broken, and we must find a way to have it broken. I searched for a long time because I went through hell in a lot of different ways. But the more I get back to the science and understanding of how meditation, proper meditation, actually works, it is everything. It is everything that you need is right there within the package inside yourself. It's coming from some source. All right, so I'm on the brink of probably over talking this thing. So at that point, I'm going to just kind of cut it off here. But I hope you understand what I'm saying. And if you don't understand, feel free to send me a question or and I'll be happy to answer you. And if this is helpful to you, share the video, of course. If you want to get more information on what I'm talking about, it's a loud day today. Yes, we have a lot of background noise today. Natural health, can't have any kind of health, really, unless you have spiritual health. You have no health at all without spiritual health. And you have no success in this world either, any real success. You can have fake success. You can try to get a lot of money and things like that, fame or whatever, but those are fleeting. Unless they're attached to purpose and they're really organically coming from you, they're not going to be real anyway. So these are the things I deal with. oldschoolus.com is my website. I also have, and I hope that you can support my work. I'm doing things that are a little off the beaten path here in more ways than one. Very few people are doing these right now, but they must be done. We must have that counterbalance if we want to overcome this world. So I hope that you can help me out. You can help me out with a one-time donation or a monthly donation via my website, link in the description. Also a link to my Subscribestar page, subscribestar.com. Patrick-Rooney on Subscribestar. You can help me out that way so I can continue to do the work, all the work that I'm doing and putting out. And in many ways, getting out the truth that's going to help you and your family and America and the world. So I hope that I can be of use to you. Thanks so much for being with me today, and I look forward to talking with you on the next video.